Hello guys, welcome to Millennials Coast. I'm so excited. Today we're releasing our first segment. I had the pleasure of interacting with Luke Barzie, one of the toughest, hard-working dude I've ever met. His story is just a lot. Being born in Liberia during the time of the Civil War, went to Ivory Coast as a refugee, and his story has a lot. Losing his parents, it's a lot to take in as a human being, and he overcome those obstacles despite losing his parents and everything, and he created something for himself and for his family as well as the Liberian people. Without any further ado, let's get into this video. Welcome guys to Millennials Coast. My name is EJ. Today I'm here with someone that is like top-notch, hardcore, and I will just let him introduce himself.
Hey, my name is Luke Barzie, founder of Liberia First Trusted Food Foundation, and it's a privilege being here today, Manuel.
Thank you so much, man. From your life, your story, there's a lot to talk about. He was also on the refugee camp for like 10 years, and man, I'm telling you, there's nothing out there that could be tough than that. Can you tell us about that?
Right, so I was born in West Africa, Liberia, during the country's 14-year civil war. And during that time, during the war, we moved to the Ivory Coast, the Côte d'Ivoire, where we lived on a refugee camp for 10 consecutive years before immigrating to the United States. So yeah, the journey wasn't pretty, but we're here now.
That's crazy, man. A lot of people and society-wise have questioned millennials, saying that, you know, we are lazy, impatient, and there are a lot of things going on we are contributing to, but society ignore that. What do you think about that topic?
Right. I mean, with millennial being lazy and you know, not motivated, I said some is false and some is true. Okay, I say it's true because I feel like we have a lot of resources there we can utilize. We can utilize this to our full potential, and we're not really capitalizing on that the way that we need to move forward. And also it's false because it is millennial that is really bringing a change into this new era of technology and everything else. So from old school perspective, it's all about the hard work, where millennials, we're trying to find the smarter way, right? We're trying to find a smarter way and not breaking our back so much. So yeah.
Speaking on the topic, and you have a nonprofit organization, and it's just amazing the dream behind it and the goal. Can you tell the audience about that?
Yeah, so Liberia First Trusted Food Foundation, we focus on agriculture, but this is modern agriculture. We have a hydroponic greenhouse farming system where we're growing food in a clean, controlled environment year-round without using any chemicals. Now with this organization, we're offering free education, employment, and also, you know, it's about feeding the people. So making food really affordable for the community in which I was part of.
And it's just crazy, you being a father and a husband, what is that feeling by itself? How is it?
It's a beautiful thing, man. You know, when my girlfriend at that time first started, I told her if we were going to get serious, my first child had to be here by when I was 25. And definitely when I was 24, 25, my boy was here. So that's why, you know, me and him, we have that relationship. We're really close because he was well planted and he came out right.
So how do you juggle that with your work and then like catering to the nonprofit?
Yeah, I mean, it comes in really easy. You know, for me, some people have kids on accident and then of course they love their children, but he was planted. So he was in my, you know, my schedule. So really focusing on the organization, it takes a little bit of time away from him, but you know, this is what we have to do in order to move forward. We have to put ourselves first so our young ones and our offspring can come up and inherit something.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
It's really big, man. The dream, the vision. What gets you pushing? What gets you moving?
What really got me going is, one, the background, you know, coming from a very poor, unfortunate place. So basically all we have here is we're privileged, man. Even if you don't have internet, you can just go to the library and read something. So we're very privileged. So I want to make sure I can capitalize on that. So definitely that's what got me motivated. One, I have my child now that depend on me. I got a whole family, and also just giving back to my community. So waking up 5 o'clock in the morning, it's easy right now. Yeah.
Us being millennials, there's a lot of pressure, man. The fact that that idea alone, like trying to provide for not only yourself and your family, but for other people, it's just top notch, man. So where did that idea come from?
The idea came from the refugee camp, basically. Many nights we went to bed without food because, food scarcity. And sometimes the only time we get food is when the UN, United Nations, come and issue some food and some things. So it's just me now being a first world country and seeing this, everything at our fingertip. You can't help to think about your people back home. And this is what really motivated me to move this whole organization back to Liberia. As we're speaking right now, we are registered back there. We're working on 40 acres of land. We have our whole agriculture set, including a brick making machine and a sawmill machine, to just branch off not only agriculture but creating sub businesses as well for employment to the community.
Amazing, man. That's a huge step, and I'm super grateful that you're doing this, because there's a lot of times that society pressure gets us against some people,
right? And
we just like, give up. And your story, you being a refugee and everything that you came across with your parents, and it's a lot. So like, just get up and say, I'm gonna do something.
Right.
And what people really don't know is the fact that you have to keep pushing. Right.
I mean, to be honest, we all, regardless of rich or poor, we all have dreams. And most of us depend on our loved ones to really encourage us. And sometimes it is the loved one that will break you down faster than the outsider. So I want to say that you are the only one that is seeing your vision. Not even your mom. I mean, she can help you and say, the thing about parents, they try to protect their loved ones. So if they see that your vision is way big, they try to, well, honey, get a backup plan. Usually we settle for the backup plan. So you gotta keep on pushing, regardless of what they say, because they're not seeing your vision. You are the creator of this project. So if you don't put in the work, nobody's gonna believe in your work. So you have to get out there and make things happen.
That's true. Coming to America, the pressure was a lot, right?
Right.
Being bullied, being called African booty scratcher, and all of those crazy names, man. How was you able to adapt to the environment?
Right, for me, I know where I came from, so many times it did not bother me. Matter of fact, the name that I was called, it wasn't by anybody but African, my African American, I would say. I was called Akon, not because he was good looking, but because he was really dark, right? And I was called Africa by the very same guy, not because, it's because I'm from Africa, but I accepted that name. I really liked that name, matter of fact. One, Akon was talented, he's a handsome man. So, hey, I like the name. And the name Africa too, I like it also because that's who I am. Most time, society here got people thinking that Africa is not the place you want to be, or black is not the thing you want to be. So most time they will distance themselves from who they really are to try to suck in this new kind of culture that don't even embrace them. So I feel like that's lost. That's lost in me. I know who I am. I'm Africa. You can call me Akon. That's a privilege. So it never bothered me. Yeah, I know who I was. So basically, it never bothered me.
That's how you take it.
Yeah.
Use their own thing against them.
Yeah.
Talk about the fights, man. How was, like, you did wrestling. What actually gets you into that? Did you encounter any fights on the way?
Yeah, I mean, I got into wrestling because our coach, one time I wasn't just in the best of mood in school, and then me and this guy was going back and forth, and he decided to attack me, and I feel sorry for him afterwards. And that's when the coach dragged me in the mat room after that. He said, "You're gonna wrestle." So that's how I started wrestling. And ever since, we took it from there and went to state multiple times through high school as well. So yeah.
You have done a lot, you have seen a lot, you've been a lot of places, man. What one thing that really stuck with you along your journey?
No parents.
No parents.
No parents. Unfortunately, when I was born, we lost our father. On a refugee camp, tough time hit, we lost our mother. So I know that, you know, being in this society here, I was alone. Though I have a lot of siblings around me, but you always feel alone. You know, you are having all these accolades in schools and this and that. All the things you want to brag about as a kid, you know, is your parents. But there's always, I have a lot of support, but my parent seat was always empty. So that was my biggest motivation. And that's the life I want to give my son, that he's always going to have a father and something that he can inherit to after his father is gone. So that's my motivation.
That's tough, man. That's crazy. We have people out there thinking worse. They've gone through the worst, losing their girlfriend or boyfriend, or not getting in a car, or hopping on the bus to go to work, and people think that's life, man. It's
I think it's the end of the world.
It's the end of the world, and that's just crazy, man. Like your story alone is inspiration to not just yourself and your family, but to the world and also to the Liberian people, and that's one thing I really appreciate and glad for when it comes to me knowing you, or me having a relationship with you as brothers. And I just love it, man. Like, to be honest, this is real. Like, this is some real shit.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, it's tough when you have you lost anybody, even your girlfriend. It can be heavy on us, but at the end of the day, it's all mental work. It's how you decide to move forward from there. Some people lack the mental ability to really drive forward, and they turn to substance like drugs to numb their pain. Definitely. Where other people that's not an excuse for them. In my case here, one thing that I lack, for example, the most is parents, and therefore having this child here changes everything. Now my focus, it moved from focusing on lost parents now to my child and what he can inherit. So basically that was my mindset, and that's what got me through everything. Otherwise, I was just going to be another knucklehead. Yeah.
What advice can you give to the audience out there, to those millennials as well as previous generation that going through depression and anxiety and all this stuff? What would you tell them?
I mean, first and foremost, I like to acknowledge mental illness is real. You know, if you have friends or family that are suffering from that, we need to give them the help they need. Okay, and also everything is a mental work. How we go by our day, our destiny really is in your hand. Okay, if you feed your mind positivities, that's all you're gonna get back from the universe. Okay, I know it's easier said than done, but like I said, my story here, my biggest setback or the darkest moment was my parents, and I uses that negative energy to create something positive. Right? Because I don't want my child to go through that. That is my biggest fear. It's me passing young and my child here, you know, starting off just how I did. So basically, for the millennials out there, man, nobody's going to believe in your dream, not even your loved one, if you're not willing to put in the work. It's all about you. Over time, people will see how much you've been doing, and they will help you and try to adapt. But it is on you.
Get our mental tough, man.
That's it.
Keep pushing.
That's it.
As long as you have life, there is hope. It's not.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a great episode. Pleasure having this guy on board.
Thank you.
Like, I have a lot to talk about, but you know, time. We live on time. It's the States.
All right.
So thank you so much.
You're welcome, man. Anytime. If you need anything, let me know. If I'm around, I'll come through.
Oh, definitely, man.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, man.